Last but not least, to Arsham, who specializes in web development, game development, and design. Now, this is pretty interesting, okay, guys, because he started his journey at Kidocode, and for more than 5 years, he focused on honing his skills in programming in Python, JavaScript, C++, HTML, and much more. And he's only 16. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome up on the Zoom stage to share his journey to entrepreneurship with coding, web, and game design and development, Mr. Arsham. Hey, Arsham, how are you, man?
Thank you for the introduction. And yeah, hello everyone. My name is Arsham. I am 16 years old, and I'm a game developer, web developer, and a designer. And I've been at Kidocode for about 5 years, and Kidocode have about 5,300 students. So I started my journey in 2015 when I was only 10 years old. So age doesn't really play a part in any of the speeches that anyone did today. We can learn one thing, which is age doesn't really matter. You can start at any age. So yeah, uh, before I joined Kidocode, I was playing games, obviously like any other 10-year-old. So one of my favorite games ever is basically Minecraft. And Minecraft lets you, I'm sure you guys have heard Minecraft, obviously. And Minecraft lets you express your creativity in any way, shape, or form. So I like expressing my creativity, whether it's through making games, websites, making videos, which I'll get onto later as well. So I started my journey, and how I started it is basically with Python. And Python is a very easy programming language. It's a high-level programming language for anyone to learn, basically. So I started with a library in Python called Turtle. And Turtle basically lets you draw shapes using some simple commands. So start off by drawing some lines, and then got more complex to different shapes like geoflowers or any other shape. So then I decided drawing shapes is okay, it's good, it lets me express my creativity, but I want to find other ways to express my creativity. Well, that's when I ventured off into web development, and this is also one of my favorite fields in programming as well. So I started by learning front end, which is the design of the website, which is where I'm more interested in expressing my creativity. So I have to learn three languages. One of them is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So HTML and CSS are basically for the design of the website, and JavaScript is for additional animations and so on and so forth. Then I ventured off into backend, which is basically the structure of the website. Any functionalities you see is through the backend. And this time I also use Python, but this time not the library. We use a web server called Flask. And I've also ventured off into databases as well, just to test them out and test the waters basically on different ones like MongoDB and MySQL. So yeah, this is our first website that we made. It's called K Cafe, which is just for ordering food for the staffs and interns at Kidocode at that time. So basically, you can click an order, and depending on what account you're logged into, it would send you a message, and it would say your order is on the way. So yeah, and I've also made my own portfolio. You can visit it at thearsham.com. I've made it using HTML, CSS, and some other libraries as well. And I'm currently working on a newer version to update this one as well. Then I ventured off into game development, which is my most recent adventure and probably my most favorite actually. So yeah, I started by making a Minecraft mod. Most of you have heard Minecraft, so I think you've also heard of a Minecraft mod. A mod is basically a modification to a existing game, for example, Minecraft. And you can make armor, you can make anything you like, basically, by just coding. But this required me to learn a new programming language called Java. It's, probably you've also heard of that because of Minecraft as well. So yes, we've made some items, basically with simple code. Took about 2 weeks to create. Yes, then I ventured off into 2D game development. This is where the actual game development started. And this is a library in JavaScript called Phaser, which lets you create 2D web-based games very easily, actually. So this is an example of a game that can be created using Phaser. This is just a very simple example, but there's so many more complicated and nice things you can do with Phaser as well. And I've actually uploaded my own application to the Google Play Store and the App Store. It's called ENIAC Attack. It's very simple application. I just want to test it out, how you upload an application to the Google Play Store and the App Store. So basically, it's just a platformer, sort of like Donkey Kong. Most of you have probably heard of Donkey Kong as well. So yeah, I've uploaded my application. And then I moved on to a more complex form of game development, but I think one of the best ways to game develop. So I adventured off into Unity 3D, which is one of the most popular game engines alongside like Unreal Engine, which is very graphic intensive. So this is an example of a game made using Cuphead. It's not mine. It's called the game is called Cuphead. It's a very nice art style, which I hope to replicate one day as well. I've actually made several different games, but I'm going to show a few here. My first ever project was a racing game with an AI. So this was kind of my first experience making an artificial intelligence in my game as well. And kind of didn't go that well because the AI would just go off the track and just crash sometimes. So yeah, we had a lot of problems figuring out how to fix that bug. And my recent adventure is Science Breakthrough. Well, there's no name for it yet. I just named it Science Breakthrough for now. This game is a 2D game made with Unity as well, where it goes through many scientists and their inventions. So they basically lost their memory and they're trying to find their inventions. Like, for example, Einstein is trying to find his formula, E equals mc squared. So this, I'm working with this alongside other projects as well, going back and forth. When I've learned something from the other project, I come and apply it here. When I learn something from here, I go apply it to the other project. And then I've also adventured off into other segments of reality, like augmented reality. And in augmented reality, I use Unity again, but this time a library in Unity called Vuforia, which lets you create augmented reality apps quite easily, actually. And this is an example. So this simulates thermodynamics. As you guys can see, this car is basically like a real Lego car where it gets detected by your phone or whatever device you're using. And it's simulated by just drawing these arrows and simulating thermodynamics. And also, the first project I actually worked on was an AR business card. It's just very simple AR business card, but I'm hoping to continue developing on augmented reality soon as well. It's just basically, this is markered actually, and there's markerless as well. Markerless basically means you don't have to track anything. It just pops up in the air. And you can make these links clickable to, for example, a website or a project you've done. I've also adventured off into virtual reality development, where I've used the XR Unity plugin, which is a very simple plugin that anyone can use for creating virtual reality games. So the first virtual reality game I made was a Beat Saber recreation. Well, the most simple Beat Saber recreation, actually. It's not directly the way. So I found a tutorial and I started adding different elements like cutting the blocks. As you guys can see over here, it's cutting the block. And yeah, all those different things while testing out with the VR headset. And I've also had my own YouTube channel, although not big. I started it about April 2020, and I'm publishing different things about what I do. For example, this one right over here is basically my journey of creating my game, a different game I'm creating, and also, for example, my journey through creating that Beat Saber game. You guys can go check it out to get some inspiration, I guess, or even just to learn some techniques that you wouldn't know before if I can teach you. And I've also had like tutorials like Premiere Pro, and even a course I've taken on CS50 made by Harvard, which I'm making basically a computer science course, very short videos, 3 to 5 minute videos, so you guys can learn the basics of computer science if you're interested. And I've also done random topics like logic gates, binary, all this stuff. And what I want to do in the future is basically very simple. I want to create games like Minecraft, but specifically dedicated to subjects like, for example, mathematics, science, or any other topic in the field. So basically, individual games were fully fledged games, except quizzes. Quizzes also can be made, but there's not many fully fledged games that actually utilize science, physics, all the above. Okay, thank you for listening. And you guys can check out my social media over here, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube, follow my Instagram, and you can check out my LinkedIn.